This is the first call of the CCIE Security WebEx Teams study group. And throughout this agenda today, we're going to cover quick introductions. And I put introductions because I want to show how many people that actually be on the call. But I think because we're going to have quite a few people, we'll probably bypass everybody giving introductions unless they feel like they want to. And so we can save on time. This meeting is scheduled for 1 hour. It may take an hour, it may not take an hour, we shall see. So with the agenda, so we'll cover the introduction. So I'll give a quick introduction to everybody that doesn't know me, and then we'll also, well, I'll also discuss the group purpose, so why I actually set up the group. And then Ramsey, thankfully, has come forward and said he would give us an overview of his experience in passing the CCNP security score exam recently. So thank you for that, Ramsey. And then after that, we will go on to Q&A. So anybody that wants to ask any questions, either to Ramsey or to anybody in the group, we can cover that there. And then we'll just close out with a few closing statements. So introduction. So I'll just briefly give you an introduction as to who I am and kind of why I started this group. So my name's Kelvin Charles, for those that don't know me. I currently actually work for Cisco Systems, and I've worked for Cisco now for about 4 years, I think it is now. I work as a security engineer. Just share my screen. My screen gone off there. Can you still see my screen? I think it should still be sharing.
We can see it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I work as a security engineer within Cisco, and predominantly work with pretty much Cisco's product portfolio. So anything from ICE, Firepower, AMP, Umbrella, you name it, I work with it. So I think one of the main motivations for me starting this group was because you know, I work in the field already, and I am trying to attain that CCIE security as well as everybody is in the group. So the main reason I started it was because I had a lot of people reach out to me on social media, whether that be Twitter or LinkedIn or wherever it may be, asking to kind of link up and, you know, create some sort of study plan together and see if we can kind of work through topics to, you know, ultimately pass the CCIE security, whether that be the new CCNP security exam and then the lab, or both. So I thought, you know, there is groups out there already. So there is, you know, forums for the CCIE security. There is, you know, different Slack groups out there already. But one thing that I've realized from my experience in these groups is that these groups are formed and then they slowly die out because, you know, there's no interaction in there, or people just find themselves at different levels. And then they just start to do their own thing and go off and you know, pass the exam. So I wanted this group to be different, and as you can see on screen, I wanted it to be one group where we can kind of come together to help motivate, inspire, and share experiences in hopes of attaining the CCIE security certification. And really how I want to do that, for those that kind of read the initial post that I wrote when I first started the group, I really wanted to have a group whereby we can have a fluid and dynamic environment. So any questions that people feel like they want to post, you know, feel free to kind of post them in the group, knowing that, you know, no question is a dumb question. You know, at the end of the day, everybody's studying for the same certification, you know, and there's different people at different levels. So, you know, hopefully there should be people in the group that can kind of help answer questions that are related to the content that's covered in the blueprint. And I also wanted a group whereby we could, in order to kind of just take it away from just typing things in a group. I also wanted a group whereby we could, you know, ultimately get together, maybe on sessions like this, or on WebEx sessions where we could, you know, come together and maybe, let's say, for instance, I discuss or go through a lab covering a certain topic on the blueprint, or somebody else, you know, decides to come forward and, you know, if they've been studying a particular topic on the blueprint and feel like covering it with the group, then, you know, kind of put their name forward to, you know, start a session and take the group through it. So that way we could keep it more dynamic and everybody could learn from each other rather than just the odd question in the group. So that was kind of my main motivation around the group. And I hope that by having this first WebEx session today, we can kind of, you know, keep the wheels rolling and schedule more in the future. And like I said, probably do some labbing as well on WebEx sessions. So if anybody wants to kind of put the name forward, you know, don't be shy. As I said, everybody's in this together. If you feel like you want to present a particular topic, or, you know, just simply talk about, you know, your experiences with an exam, then, you know, feel free to come forward and, you know, we can look at setting up a WebEx session either on a weekly basis or a fortnightly basis, depending on kind of what topics we've got to cover. So on to the next point. So kind of leading on from that, really, I reached out to the group this week through the week and, you know, said that it'd be good if we could kind of get together a session just to kind of give each other an introduction and kick things off in terms of, you know, creating that dynamic environment. And one thing that I asked was, I saw a couple of people on the group actually passing the CCNP security score exam this week. So well done to all those if you're on the call and if you're not on the call. And one of those people was Ramsey, and he's on the call today, and he's a member of the group, and he recently passed the CCNP security score exam. So I just want to first off start by congratulating yourself, Ramsey, on passing that exam.
Thank you.
Now you've only got the lab left to take, and Ramsey so kindly offered to kind of come forward and discuss his experience in terms of the exam and how he found it and how he studied for the exam. So without further ado, what I'll do is I'll hand it over to yourself, Ramsey, and you know, if you can kind of just discuss how long you've been studying for that exam, what you did to prepare for that exam, and how you found the exam overall.
Okay, so first of all, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. First of all, Kelvin, thank you for this event. Actually, it's very, very interesting to have such a group where we all like share the same passion, the same we want to achieve something. So we're all in this together, let's say. What I like about this group is one main big thing is that we are all focusing on learning, not focusing on like sharing like questions or just for passing the exam. We don't want that only. What I say usually is that when people like reach out to me and ask me if what certificate they want to do and what's better and so on, I would always recommend like sharing the material, and I would ask them just to understand the material and learn it very well, okay? And that would be 80% of the whole certificate for me. The certificate is just like, of course, it proves what you know and whatever, but trust me, I met like a lot of CCIEs who they do not know what's it like. If you have an access port and a trunk on the other side, they do not know what's the point. They do not know how everything is going down deeply. So like this is something that's frustrating to see people with very high certificates, but actually on the field they do not know anything. I've met a lot of them. Trust me, I went to a lot of trainings. They are there. So the purpose of this group, which is, again, I like it so much, is that we're studying, we're learning, we're not like sharing. We don't, of course, the result should be that we wanna pass the exam, but we want to pass the exam with knowledge. I want to have a CCIE, plus I want to know the material of the CCIE. I want to, if like something came up with the CCIE level, a problem with the CCIE level, I want to be able to solve it. You know, so that's I don't like find a lot of groups with this material and this content that you're talking about. So that's the first thing. So congrats, man, on like building this group. That's the first thing. That's the first thing. Second thing I want to talk about is let me just like tell you a little bit about myself, like 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I think we lost him on the audio.
Yeah, I think we have. We'll just give him a second to come back. And while we give him a second to come back, I think Ramsey raised a good point in that, you know, I've seen groups out there that, and I've seen people, and people have reached out to me directly and asked for, you know, things like dumps and etc. because they don't really want to take the time to understand the content and the technologies. They just want to be able to pass an exam and get a certification. And, you know, that is not what that's not what we're trying to do here, and that's not what we're going to do here. I mean, for one, working at Cisco, that is totally forbidden, and I don't condone that anyway, and it's also against the NDA. So, you know, one thing that we won't be doing and won't accept in the group is things like that. And I think with the group that we've got here, I think the people that have joined it are genuinely interested in pursuing the certification based on the knowledge that they've either got through the current job or the knowledge that they're gaining through actually studying the material rather than just going through the dump. So I think Ramsey raised a really good point there about actually trying to get the certifications rather than just going through the dumps. So Ramsey back on now. Yep. Reach out to me. Just reach out to Ramsey.
Yeah, just by way of writing the exam, maybe just one question to throw in, Kevin, if it's possible. Is there anyone in this group that has attempted the exam as well, the SCORE exam?
So I've not, just my kind of background. So I've not attempted the new SCORE exam. I did attempt the previous version 5 CCIE security written exam, but what I found is that the content for that exam was a little bit outdated in terms of the technologies that we now seem to work with. You know, say for instance ICE, and then we've got you know, firepower, things like that. So I think the frustration, I was so close to passing that exam, but I didn't pass the exam. And I think the frustration for me was the technologies were a little bit outdated. So I think for me, it's quite refreshing to see the new SCORE blueprint, because, you know, it covers relevant technologies, and you know, I think from what I've seen, by taking, you know, the exams such as the firepower and the ICE exam, they're a lot more relevant to help individuals that actually work with these current technologies today